On the 22nd of February 2026, lay a man who had built an empire of a cartel with crimes worth over $50 billion, that more than most countries' GDP, but he was now a shadow of what he was once. A man who had fought nations like Mexico, but he was now here lying feebly on the ground dead. A man who had shipped drugs worth in billions per year, but to understand his story, we have to go back to how he all started. El Mencho was born in the year 1996 in rural Michoacan. He grew up amidst poverty. He grew up in agriculture from avocado to lime farming, as that was the only way to put food on the table. Due to the great amount of poverty, Mencho made the decision to drop out and start selling marijuana. This alone will eventually be the first step to his undoing. As this business picked up exponentially, he decided he will expand, and by 1980s, he illegally migrated to the United States of America for better opportunities. On reaching USA, he faced multiple drug arrests, including heroin distribution in California. He served some time in prison for all his sentences until he got deported back to Mexico. Mencho initially joined the force and became a police officer before he fully entered organized crime. He rose through the money.He cartel tied to the Sinaloa cartel. Yes, the same cartel El Chapo led. He served as a hitman and enforcer for them. Then came the two following year that will shape it all. Two critical head of the cartel were captured and disposed: cartel leader Oscar Orlando and 2010 killing of Ignacio Coronel. This led to the splitting of the cartel. Then around 2009-2010, he co-founded what would become the CJNG, initially as an armed wing allied with the Sinaloa cartel. But Mencho had bigger plans. By 2011, the CJNG broke away completely. Under his command, it exploded in power. What set CJNG apart? Extreme brutality. They used military-grade weapons, drones for attacks, improvised explosives, and public displays of terror, dissolving bodies in acid, hanging rivals from bridges. Mencho's group adopted a franchise model. Regional cells operated semi-independently but paid tribute, allowing rapid expansion. They seized control of key ports like Manzanillo for importing precursors, flooded the U.S. with meth and fentanyl, extorted businesses, stole fuel, and corrupted officials at every level. By the mid-2010s, CJNG was challenging and often surpassing the Sinaloa cartel as Mexico's dominant force. Mencho himself stayed ghostly. Only a handful of old photos existed. No selfies, no public appearances, just fear. El Mencho became larger than life. Health rumors circulated: kidney failure, dialysis. Death hoaxes popped up repeatedly, only to be debunked. He was called the Lord of the Roosters for his love of cockfighting, and CJNG propaganda glorified him as a protector against rivals. The US and Mexico hunted him relentlessly. A 2015 raid went disastrously wrong. CJNG shot down a military helicopter with a rocket launcher, killing soldiers and escalating the war. His son, El Menchito, was arrested and later sentenced to life in the US. Still, Mencho evaded capture, delegating operations while hiding in Jalisco's mountains. Then came February 22, 2026. In a remote hideout in Tapalpa, Jalisco, tipped off possibly by intelligence involving a close associate, Mexican Special Forces launched a high-risk operation. Supported by US intel, they cornered Mencho. A fierce shootout erupted. He was wounded fatally and died en route to Mexico City for medical care, at age 59. The response was immediate and apocalyptic. CJNG unleashed nationwide retaliation: roadblocks, torched vehicles, banks and stores set ablaze, ambushes killing dozens, including National Guard members. Violence spread across 20-plus states, turning cities into ghost towns. Fake news and AI-generated images amplified the chaos, a tactic CJNG used to instill greater terror. His cartel grew into a transnational machine, trafficking to Europe, Australia, even Asia. Violence reached new lows: mass graves, public executions, yet the organization thrived on fear and efficiency. El Mencho's death was a massive blow, perhaps the biggest since El Chapo's recapture. Yet his rise lives on in the cartel he built. CJNG remains intact, with lieutenants vying for control. Will it fracture into warring factions, grow more violent, or adapt under new leadership? One thing is clear: The empire Mencho forged from poverty and ambition endures. His death didn't end the nightmare, it may have only begun a new chapter.